we have a huge district.
Yeah, it's not as though you don't get frequent flyer miles.
Driver miles.
It's a lot of ground to cover. Well, let's talk about the ground you guys are covering back in D.C. Lance, in fact, you said, Dave, don't forget to ask him this, and then I promptly forgot I'm getting to ask him that. So
yeah, Yakima River Basin
there
Water
you
Enhancement
go.
Project, phase 3, hugely important to so many people, growers up and down the Yakima Valley, looking for more water. We constantly hear. I mean, it takes us all way back to Black Rock when we started
takes
talking
you back
about
to Sid Morrison.
Well, yeah, that's right. So what will this do? Phase 3. What are we looking at here?
Well, yeah, we've been. I was reminded of this whole thing just driving up here to see you guys, driving by the Yakima River, and it's at or near flood stage. I'm thinking, all that water going out to the ocean that we can't grab. So that's exactly what we're talking about doing is utilizing the resource that we have better, keeping it in the times of plenty so that we have it in the times when we're short. And that's exactly what this bill will do. Continue the effort that was started way back in the 70s, actually, effort to enhance the Yakima River Basin. And so this is phase 3, a very much anticipated, long-awaited effort. I think it's been 20 years since phase 2 was passed.
Wow.
And so, but I'm very proud of what we're doing right now. You know, we have a very divergent, I guess you could call, a diverse group of people that have been meeting for about 7 years to come up with a plan to move forward. You know, we've got the tribes involved, environmentalists involved, local governments, agriculturalists, a whole cross-section of people that are interested in water in the Yakima Valley.
Creating more reservoirs, more conservation, all the above. I mean, it's just
all of those things. Conservation, habitat restoration, fish passage at the dams, conservation efforts by agriculture as well as by communities. Aquifer storage is part of the plan as well. Just a lot of different things to enhance our ability to use and conserve water.
Yeah, it's an amazing thing. You look around at the brown spots in the valley, and that's us without water, man. It's a high desert, and yet the historical importance of fish, their need for water at different times of the year don't always match up with everybody else's need for water. So, if you guys, to pull this off is a major juggling act. I mean, I'd watch you guys and Ed Sullivan if you guys that kind of spinning this plate here and that plate there.
And I guess it puts people to work too. I mean, with all that work, you got people getting jobs, right? I mean,
Well, for building the infrastructure, absolutely. But we've got about a $3.2 billion agricultural industry here that depends on this water. And the last time that we did anything substantial, building reservoirs in the Yakima Basin, was 1933. You were just a pup.
I was just barely getting on the construction crew then.
So we've got to keep up with the times, with the growing population, the changes in climate that we're seeing. We've got to be prepared for the future if we're going to have a future.
Sure.
And so this is a really significant step forward.
The world needs our fruit and produce, man, for sure.
Absolutely.
We've got to be able to deliver.
Absolutely.
All right. So in addition to that, all of that's playing out against the backdrop of national political chaos. The demise of your party, sir, has been spoken of by others so much smarter than Lance and I that it's in suicide, free fall, Donald Trump, all of that. How much does that get in the way of trying to do your job on a daily basis? Does it enter the halls there?
Oh, I don't think so. I think that certainly the presidential race is a topic of conversation in Washington, D.C., as it is in Yakima, Washington. Everybody's interested in what's going on, the process playing out. But that's the process we have. This is a very interesting year, probably one of the most interesting that I can remember. We haven't had.
Isn't that a Chinese curse? May you live in interesting times.
Careful what you wish for and ask for. But I have total faith in the people of the United States to make the right decisions, and that sometimes the process itself is a little hard to watch, but I think we'll get to the right place when all's said and done. And I'm looking for somebody that can unite the country, that has some of the things that are important to Central Washington as a priority for them. Strong military defense for our country, a strong view of the Constitution and upholding that. Fiscal conservative, certainly to get our country back on the right track as far as our budgets are concerned. I think those are the kinds of things that, as well as somebody that can unite our country.
And that's the big job, because if anything happens in political seasons, we pull even further apart, my side versus yours, and who can stitch that back together and make us move forward as one great country.
You know, a president does a lot of things, but one of the things that he's a leader, and he's someone that shares a vision the country can rally around and move forward with. And that's what we need, someone that can accomplish all those things. Not an easy task, but the process of getting there is a long, hard one. You know, I think we carry out our presidential races longer than any country that I know. But by the end of it, we get to know the candidates well, and the country usually makes the right decision. So I'm confident that will happen again.
Well, we know that you've got to get going. I got one last question for you. When you're in D.C., what do you miss most about the Yakima Valley?
Oh my gosh! Every time I fly back into the Yakima Valley, I just feel so much better. You know, Washington D.C. it's a great place to visit. You know, our nation's capital, a lot of history. But I just love Central Washington. This is my home. That's where I was born. What I miss most is my family. That's the hardest part about this, being separated from those that you love by that long distance. But
well, we give you sunshine today, a little bit of sunshine to remind you that that's why you're here. It's why we all live here, because of this weather.
And when you see cherry blossoms back there, just remember ours are for real. Ours are gonna really put cherries on trees.
that's right. Absolutely. Yeah.
Congressman Dan Newhouse, appreciate it. You know you got to scoot, so thanks for your time again. We look forward to our phone call connections. Those things help keep the district informed. We appreciate those.
Yeah, I look forward to those every Thursday. Appreciate you guys participating in that, and thanks for the chance to catch up a little bit.
Our pleasure, sir.
Thank you.
Right. Travel well.
Thank you.
It's the Morning News, News Talk 1280 KIT. Back right after this.
All right.